Okay, can you hear now? At all? Let me know. Kinda cool. Just let me know, chat. Scott, somebody, anybody. Can you hear this at all? It's a bit staticky. So that's staticky right here. That's really shitty. Look at this. This is my actual microphone that I got, and that sucks. Well, okay, let me try something. Okay, what about now? I sound like a robot doing robot stuff. Is that better? I'm changing like the presets on here. Garbly. I don't like that. That now, is that better? Super soft. Okay. If I try this, is this one better? I still want to do the headset. Fine. I'll just use my earphones. Whoa. It's better? This is okay? Much better? Is it way better? Oh my god, yes. Awesome. Okay, so there's like, apparently there's little dials on the back here with all sorts of little presets and stuff. So you can like change it to 1, 2, or 3. I don't really know. I'm so new at this. So, yay, no, yes. Okay, good. Okay, so right now me sitting at this distance from it, everything sounds all good. Doing all good. Yes. Thumbs up, chat. Yes. Okay. Happy. Yay. Okay. So, this is my very first cosplay creative stream. I want to be doing a ton more of these in the future. I want to kind of make it a weekly or twice a week kind of thing where I actually go through like teaching. Oh, thank you for the follow. Where I actually go through teaching like step by step armor creation and kind of like a online sort of cooking show, like a panel. Like I do lots and lots of panels. And so what I want for this is for it to be like virtual panels, webinars that you can go to learn how to do cosplay and crafting. So just for today, usually this will be on the big one, but because I'm going to be doing a lot more explanation today, this is myself is going to be on here. So this is essentially going to be a Worbla panel. So if you want to know about Worbla, you want to know about making armor, all sorts of different armor creations. So we got breastplates right here. We've got, oh, I should put these things closer to me. We've got helmets. You want to learn how to make helmets. That is what this portion of my stream is going to be about. It is going to be all about armor creating, doing shoulders, doing all of that stuff and the materials that I use. And it's going to be a weekly thing. So yes, more regular streams. It's going to be like a how-to kind of channel where you're going to be able to follow along with me and follow step by step as I go through making all of these stuff. So for this first one, yes, Vaporeon, yay. So for this first one, I'm going to pay attention chat, and I'm obviously going to do shout outs for people that are doing follows or donations if it happens, which it probably won't. But if they do, I of course will do shout outs about that. However, I am going to be allotting specific, thank you so much for the follow. See Team Snipes. I'm going to be doing more of a question time and everything. So if you have specific crafting questions, I'm going to have a lot of question times during these streams. I'm going to read over my chat and go through to try to answer some questions that you have. So this is for cosplayers. This is for cosplay. This is all of that stuff. So just want to make sure sound levels, everything was all good and working out. So without further ado, here we are. So this is a stream that is based on Worbla. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you guys, now I should have a scene. Give me 1 second. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is a material list. All right. So the materials that I am using, hopefully you guys can hear me right now. Let me know if you can hear me while the material list is up. The materials that I use in all of my armor creations and everything is Worbla. I do black, clear, and regular. I don't really use the clear stuff as much. Craft foam is an absolute necessary component to any sort of armor creation when you are working with thermoplastics. Scissors, obviously, you need a really good pair of scissors. Rulers, the really good rulers. I use metal ones. Plastic ones can sometimes stick to the Worbla components. X-Acto knife, a really good X-Acto knife. D-rings, EVA foam. So that's a little bit of a thicker type foam. Paint scraper is one of my big things that I use. A heat gun and a protractor. So, without, oops, I got stuff falling all over the place. Without further ado, we'll go back to me. So, all the materials that I just listed right there can be found easily. Worbla you can get online at a lot of different stores. So go to cosplaysupplies.com. They've got really good deals if you order multiple sheets of Worbla. If you are looking for Worbla just on the go, I live in small town British Columbia, and Industrial Paints and Plastics, it's a Canadian company. They have Worbla that you can just buy like that as well. So I gave you the list of materials. You can always go back through my streams, and obviously you can pause and write down that sort of stuff. But I'm going to show you exactly the materials that I just listed right there on my little small screen. So ruler was a big one. This is a paint scraper. It's used to scrape paint. Aw, thanks for the follow. It's used to scrape paint off of walls, off of whatever. I use this a ton in my creations. Good pair of scissors. Thank you so much for the follow, Piba. All right, so X-Acto knife. You can use a blade like this. I find these blades are all right. Personally, I prefer these small bladed X-Acto knives. So you can see right there. Pens. Oh, a big thing is a protractor. So I use this in rounded parts of my armor. It's something that I have found that helps so much when you are trying to get curves of your double-sided Worbla to stick. We got pens. As you can see, my workspace, this is just a piece of parchment paper because it needs to be fire resistant. And under here is a heat safe mat and then just a cutting mat so I don't go through anything. And now, without further ado, let's take a look at the thermoplastic materials for those of you that are not familiar with them. So the main two that I'm going to be talking about in this very first intro stream are black, I can even show you right here, black and brown Worbla. So black Worbla is the newest, well, there's actually red Worbla now, which I have not had the chance to experiment with, but I hear that it's pretty good. So black Worbla is the newer of the versions. Brown Worbla is the original one. We'll actually talk brown Worbla first. So with brown Worbla, you have every single property that's in there. Thermoplastic material means that you take a heat gun. Oh, that is the final thing. I forgot to show that. This is your weapon of choice when you are crafting armor. This is a heat gun. Mine is a Black & Decker, just random heat gun. I got it at Home Depot. You can get them for like 20 bucks. I've had some that I've gotten at Canadian Tire for $10. Like, it's super not an expensive thing that you're going to be investing in. You're going to use a lot of these too. They burn out. I've had 3 burn out so far. So it's just essentially a, you know, useful tool that's kind of disposable. So make sure you're just getting the cheapest one and the best deal. Hello, Argentina. Heat rating? Okay, so it has 2 different settings on it. Thank you for the question there. Like I said, I'm going to be looking at chat a little bit of time. So it has 2 different heat settings. The high heat, I don't know if it says it on here. It is a very, very, very high heat device. It's like thousands of degrees. So you do not want to use this to blow dry your hair or it will set on fire. And that will be a big problem. So, hello, Sniffly. All right. So you do not want to use that. Again, you don't want to use a blow dryer to do your Worbla because it just won't work either. There's 2 different heat settings that are on this. You can see right here and the little side thing. So when you first start out working with Worbla and working with thermoplastics, you want to use the lowest setting. This is like a key integral thing, is to use the lowest setting. Because Worbla can sometimes, the thermoplastic can sometimes have a tendency to bubble and to get ruined. So if you just want to make sure, you've been there, you've had your hair set on fire, hey Nikki? So if you just want to make sure that your projects are going to be taking your time and making sure that you are doing this appropriately. So you're going to use the lowest setting, which is, you know, you got it right there. And eventually, once you sort of understand your material and you start to grow and you start to like learn it, you can adjust it so that you will be using a higher setting after that and just go. So, like I said, these are the 2 different materials. These are both Worbla. So this is the brown Worbla, and I'll go into that first. A thermoplastic means that you heat it up and it becomes malleable. It becomes bendy. Everything that you see that I have done here is using Worbla and craft foam. I will go into greater explanation about how to go here. And then as I continue on my streams and everything, you will see that I will go through. Thank you so much for the follow, Stam Lords. I will go through every sort of detail. I'll do a stream that'll be about helmets. I'll do a stream that'll be about breastplates. I'll do a stream that'll be about swords. I'll do a stream that'll be about attaching armor, pattern drafting, all of that kind of stuff is coming in the future. But like I said, I want to start out with the first one just being a little bit of an overview. So like I said before, all this is Worbla, and you can see that even though you heat it up and can turn it into complex 3D curves, it goes rock hard and becomes like armor. So this entire thing, my Vaporeon helmet, was all made with regular Worbla. Now, regular Worbla is, it's my favorite to use, even though black Worbla is great for certain things. Regular Worbla. Oh, thank you so much for the following. XX Vacor X's. I'm so bad with reading names. I think my vision's off a little bit and I need some glasses, but I just haven't done it yet. Anyway, okay, so with the regular Worbla, it has a glue that is built in with it. All Worbla, all thermoplastic has a glue that is built in. So you don't need an extra glue to combine all of your pieces together. It will stick to itself, which is one of the beauties of Worbla. Now, with regular Worbla, it is a little bit of a gritty texture. I'm going to try and put it up to the camera. You can see those little dots. It's completely non-toxic. It is made of just wood filler and glue. It is great for indoors and everything. You're blind without your glasses too, yeah. Hi there. Hey, Francis. How you doing? Hello. Oh, yes. Hello, everybody in chat. Anyway, so it's got this gritty texture on it, which later on you will be using primers and fillers and all sorts of things to smooth it out to get a smoother appearance. You can see the shine, all of that on there. And that comes later with gesso, with all sorts of things. But, yes, Sailor Jupiter. Yes, Sailor Jupiter is great. I got the Sailor Jupiter in the background there and my other Vaporeon breastplate, and got a mace on the wall, a whole bunch of stuff. So with regular Worbla, like I said, it is way more adhesive than black Worbla, but the texture is grittier, which means that you're going to have to take a lot of post-processing time to be able to actually get it to that sort of mirror smoothness that you want. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. W. Deckert. Okay, I'm trying with the names. Okay, so you will have to go through a lot more post-processing to get it smoother. Now, here is black Worbla. Now, black Worbla is way nicer. It is so much smoother. So if you can see the texture on here, it doesn't have the same graininess, put it up there, that the brown Worbla did. Now with the brown Worbla, you can see the grainy texture up in there. Black Worbla, nice smoother texture. However, the glue that is in black Worbla is not as strong as brown Worbla. So when you are doing things like booby cups, like anything that is going to be a high stress area that you do not want these boob cups to pop off in the middle of the con and you're right out there getting kicked out the door for indecency, you will want to use a reinforcement of brown Worbla in it, or you'll just want to use in those super high stress areas. There's bendy parts around here, parts around your ribs, all of that. You're going to want to use the brown Worbla instead because of the adhesion factor. However, like I said, the smoothness factor of black Worbla cannot be beat. Yes, it sounds smooth. I rub it on myself so majestically. Case in point about the smoothness of black Worbla, and like I said, I used reinforcing factors all in the inside, which I cannot show you, but case in point of black Worbla, let's look for a second at this mirror finish here. I mean, there's obviously pre-treatments of gesso. Thank you, Bovi, for the follow. There's obviously treatments of gesso and of all sorts of paint and everything that is on here. But, I mean, let's take a look and appreciate this mirror finish of the black Worbla. It is way, way smoother. So the next type of Worbla that I'm going to talk about... Oh, where did my little piece go? I had a little piece just sitting here. 1 second. Okay. So I will show you guys a roll of this because I don't know where my piece went. This is clear Worbla. Hello. Clear Worbla. You can see right through it. Now, clear Worbla is actually... do you know if you guys know what vacuform machines are, where a big sheet comes over and it sucks out all of the air and it takes the form of something? That's what clear Worbla is. It is essentially just a clear plastic. Now, the thing with clear Worbla versus all of the other types of Worblas is that clear Worbla does not have a glue. It doesn't have any sort of adhesion factor to it. So you have to use other glues. You have to try to incorporate it somehow. It doesn't stick to anything. When you heat it up, it will take a shape, but it's not very reliable with taking a shape specifically. And it's more so used if you want to do things like making, say, icicles, or you wanted to put a visor on some part of your helmet. So that's something that clear Worbla can be absolutely great for. Now, if you are looking to make actual like clear sort of armor, like full ice armor, this is not going to adhere or take shape in the way that you are going to want it to. It is not my favorite product. I've only used it a few times to make things like I did a glowing magic ball and stuff, but that looked like there was flames. It was blue. It was magical Jaina stuff. But it's really not the best of materials for things. Plus, it takes a way higher heat to get it to activate and to start shaping, which means that your hands, they get just toast. It's just, they get totally messed and it's just brutal. So I'm not a total advocate of clear Worbla, but if you can find uses for it, that's great. Now, the very final thermoplastic that I want to mention that I use in my armor creations is Friendly Plastic. Now, Friendly Plastic, I'll show you down here, are little, see if you can see those. Oh, it's kind of hard because it's on white. Oops, they kind of went everywhere. So they're little plastic beads that you can heat them all up and form a modeling clay. So it's for doing certain designs. Like if you wanted to make teeth, these are great for it. If you want to make, let's see, I'm going to try to grab something as I slowly put this away. And now they're everywhere. And now they're all over the floor. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to try to grab something really quick. Let's see. So, barbarian sword that I just grabbed off of the wall. So, my barbarian sword, all of these little teeth right here have all been made with the Friendly Plastic. It was great for if you want to do things like that. If you want to do little skulls or something, if you really want to do specific design armor shapes, it's awesome for that stuff. You do the same sort of heating method. Like I said, it's a thermoplastic. You need your heat gun. But because they're in all these little beads and you saw how they go everywhere, you are going to want to make a little bowl of tin foil or something that's non-stick and heat them up in this sort of little makeshift bowl so that it doesn't go everywhere. Once they are, oh, thank you for the follow, Calico. Once they are all heated and they all stick together and turn to modeling clay. And now what I don't normally get to do in my panels is show you how this stuff works, and that's what I am going to be doing here. I'm going to be heating these up and showing how all of this stuff works, which is why this is such a great little intro to this. So first off, I'm going to take a little pause because I just explained what the thermoplastics are and what I use. I would, hi Cyrus, I'm going to take some questions or anything that you have. So go questions, chat, if you have anything that you would like to know. Oh, thank you for the host. If you've got anything just about the materials, what I have explained, any questions at all, let's do it now. Come out. I'm going to read over the chat. That's how you get ants. Okay, I missed a lot. So yes, if anybody, oh, I think I can actually look on my phone because like I've got now chat, Twitch, phone stuff. So let's see. Chat? No, not working. Just because my eyes. So if anybody, yeah, it is an Archer reference. I love Archer. Except I didn't, after he had the baby, not Seamus, but the other baby, the one with Lana, I kind of got a little bit, I don't know, I just got out of it and I haven't watched anything. So have I made a face mask with Worbla? Yes, I actually have made a face mask, and it's a shame because it's in my closet, but if you just bear with me 1 second, chat, I will. any upcoming cosplay outfits or photo shoots, I am going to be starting on a couple new cosplays. I've got one that I kind of started here. It's in the back, and it's a white corset on a dress form. So I'm not going to give away too much because I haven't gone too far into it. But if you think about the games that I love to play, if you think about the games that I love and play all the time, and any characters that have a white corseted thing with lacing in the front in the game as a skin, you can maybe put 2 and 2 together. Okay, so I have not done a Zero Escape cosplay. That would be super cool. Okay, 1 second. Okay, this is a bad example because I have my my witch doctor mask, which I would prefer to show. Here's the costume I started on and never finished. If anybody knows what this is, you can guess. It is Anjouamon from Digimon. So here you can see this is actually a face mask, well, half of a face mask that I have made out of Worbla. It's hearts, everything. I've made a full mask, my witch doctor one, but you can see that I've taken the shape and everything of my face and done it. So it is one that I may finish, but yeah, I know. I may end up finishing it at some point, but yes. So, okay. That can absolutely be made with Worbla. So that was the intro of the Worbla materials that I use. Now, I went over some of the materials that I use as far as my tools and everything, but I'm going to show you guys the biggest part of any armor build as I am cleaning up all of these little things. Hi, Francis. Thank you so much for the follow. Yes, Anjouamon for sure. Aw, that's good. Thank you so much for hosting me, Scott. Okay. So I'm going to show you the very core of every single armor build that you are going to want to do. So I know I need to finish, and then you can do it and we can totally rock some Digimon together. But the very center core, the very core of every single thing is craft foam. Craft foam is what every single armor is essentially made of. And we're talking just armors. When we go into props and everything, that is where you go into pink foam and EVA foam, which are thicker foams. But for armor, craft foam is everything. It is the entirety of your whole armor build. Every single thing that you see here has a layer of craft foam into it. If you want to look at, I'll show you, got more armor examples just kicking around here. Something like my Snow White breastplate. So all of this is craft foam. All of these pieces that are outlaid on top is all craft foam. That is the core of everything. You can see this here. This is an example of a pattern that I have made. This pattern, take it. This was it was for a different shoulder, but you can see, do you see the shape? See how that follows there? It is all craft foam. That is the entire core. Now, craft foam you can get at any, thank you, Devious, for the follow. So craft foam you can get at any craft store or dollar store or whatever. Usually it comes in small sheets, so like paper size sheets, but I go to Michael's and for $10 you can get a, I just got some messages. I'm still so new to Twitch. Okay, I just gotta close this right here. I'm like, what? Alright, so you can get these in big, this is just like a cut of a roll, but they come in massive rolls, huge rolls that you can get for $10 at Michael's. And one roll can do so many armor pieces. It is like incredible. That is what you want to do. When you go and you just get the little sheets. Thank you so much for the follow. Chicken 1, 2, 3. So when you go and you get little sheets and everything, it just pieces get bigger. It's just not economical. Go to Michael's. They've got tons of discount cards too. So you go on and you go into the website and you can get 50% off right there. Boom. For all of your stuff. So, oh, no worries, Solon. I am so glad that you guys are enjoying it. I really want to be informative, and this is going to be a weekly thing. It's going to be like, hey, do you want to know how to make a breastplate today? Follow me. Step 1, this is what we're going to do. And you can follow along. You can do a breastplate, shoulders, swords, whatever. We're going to do a nice little process, and it's going to be like tuning into Rachel Ray, except you're going to be tuning into... not that, and it's not going to be cooking, but it's going to be Worbla. So, oh, thank you for the follow, Livewire. You've never seen them at Michael's? Oh my god, they are there. They are in the like children's aisle, like, you know, where you can go get all the sort of school supplies. I'm an elementary school teacher by day, so I go to Michael's a lot and go and shop and pick up stuff. So when you've always wanted to make Tyrael. Oh my god. Tyrael is, if you can see, look at right there. I have my little Tyrael statue just standing right there on my Blizzard little wall of toys. But I love it. Diablo is huge for me. I really want to do Li Ming, like her Heroes of the Storm armor. I think it's just so beautiful. So I really want to make that. But yes. Oh, I'm so glad that you... Oh, absolutely. So all these videos are going to be saved in case you miss it. You can go back. Thank you so much for the follow. I can BJ Kate something. Yes, you can go back. They're going to be saved, and then I will upload them onto YouTube after, so that if you need to ever go back, you want to go through things. See, the problem that I find with online armor tutorials is they're like, okay, hey, like, do you want to make a breastplate? Here you go. And then they speed through the build, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like 10 minutes long. And then by the time that they're done, they're like, and here's my finished breastplate. You're like, wait, what was step 2? What was step 1? What was whatever? So, like, over the course of, like, a month, I'll be like, yeah, we're going to make this armor project, and we're going to make this together. And we're going to do it step by step so that, you know what? You are doing it with me while I'm crafting, and you say, oh my god, right this very moment, my Worbla just bubbled all over the place and popped, and I've got big holes. What do I do? And I can be like right there being like, boom. Either like, you know, email me a picture or send me one on Facebook or something like that. I can look at it live time and try and help you guys with your builds. So it is definitely one of those wanting to really actually do proper tutorials and everything. Yes, I am a teacher. I'm an elementary school teacher. I teach all the little babies, all the little kids. So, yes. So like I said, this is, let's see. Yeah, and you just got to do it, and you just got to get into making cosplays. And so that's what I'm saying. This will be a weekly thing, and I'll say, let's join, let's start making, let's start whatever. And it's going to be great because it'll really give people, I really want to give help. I want to give some advice. I want to be able to do this in real time so that you guys are not, you know, rushing through things. Then if you really do need to go back, you can go back and look at my streams that are archived. You can look at my YouTube, all of that stuff, and be able to do that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Sky Rose. So, like I said, you can get these rolls at Michael's. They are huge rolls. They are super cheap. You can use a discount. And this is going to be the core of all of your armor making. So, let's get in to the basics. Now, I'm going to talk just about the methods of armor making and all that stuff. Next episode that I'm going to do of this is going to be, they don't carry Worbla at Michael's. They do not. So you're going to want to go to a place called cosplaysupplies.com. And for future broadcasts, I'll probably put at the bottom a little like link to where I get my Worbla. So you'll want to go to cosplaysupplies.com. They have a lot of discounts when it comes to ordering multiple sheets. Or if you do like live locally or whatever, and thank you, Eugenella, for following me, Eugenelle. If you are like, I live in Canada, so I am in local British Columbia, and like I said earlier, I know in Calgary, Toronto, I think other places and whatever, they have a place called Industrial Paints and Plastics. For me, in my tiny small town, it's just down the street, and they carry Worbla there. Be wary of buying Worbla. This is a big FYI, by the way. I have been to some cons where I have guested and stuff and done panels, and people have been selling Worbla at booths there, and they have been upcharging like $40, $50 for a sheet of Worbla. Don't you ever pay over the price that sites like cosplaysupplies.com or even Yaya Han sells Worbla on her website, or any of these cast for art or stuff. Don't you ever pay more than that. The only reason why in a local store they may charge an extra $5 or $10 for it, like they do at Industrial Paints and Plastics, is because it reduces the shipping that's not there. So you're in Vernon, then you can go to Industrial Paints and Plastics right away. Absolutely. So they will charge just like about $10 extra, which is okay. But I've seen people at cons try to rip cosplayers off by doing, $20, $30, $40 extra for a sheet of Worbla. And people are like, oh, this is the price. And they've come to my booth and they've said, oh, I just bought a roll of Worbla for like this insane amount. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, you should not, never, ever, ever do that. So, does anybody have any quick craft questions before I get going? So I'm going to actually, this might get a little loud because I've never done this before. I'm going to bust this heat gun out. We're going to start. I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you heat these things up, and the structure of just sort of how it goes when you first start working with this material, because it can be a little big. Moss, right? Thank you so much for the follow. So anybody questions or anything? Let's see. So Scott, yeah, it's the times. I know I can't. I tried to do as good. I actually got screwed up with this stream. I was going to do it earlier. However, I totally forgot about daylight savings. So to me, I was, yeah. Do I find making props or detail props easier than an armor? I think it is totally, they are totally different. I find that armors are a little easier for me now because I have my whole base set of patterns. But props, again, I like a prop because a prop is sort of only one. The thing that I get really frustrated about with making armor is that you always have to, except for a breastplate or a belt or a helmet or whatever, right? Like, you're not going to make two of these, but when you do bracers, when you do legs, when you do hip armor, when you do that stuff, you always have to make two. Hello, Crusader. So that always, like, I put all this detail and this work and this stylized stuff into the first, like, say, leg armor, and then I'm like, oh my god, I have to do it again. And that's when I get frustrated. So they both carry challenges. The thing I like about props is that it's one. It's done. So you can sit there and spend way more time building a massive sword because you're like, yes, like I can make this my baby. This sword right here was one of my very first props that I ever made. This is my baby. This is my barbarian sword. If my house was on fire, I would grab this sword and I would run out of the house. This is a very important thing to me. It hangs on my wall in pride. And I learned so much stuff when I built this sword. Like, this was a big deal for me, was with learning that stuff. The barbarian in general was a big deal for me, which is why I posted that picture yesterday on Instagram, because I wanted you guys to know that, like, that's sort of where I started, and you can totally start there too. If I can do it, you can do it. And that is absolutely, I learned everything from scratch, and you can as well. Thank you for the follow as well. I just missed that person. So, let's see, just a couple more things. Every candidate turned 4 and 6. Thank you. That is actually super helpful. No, craft foam is not used for the flexibility. That is a really, really great question. So craft foam is not used for flexibility. Worbla will go stiff no matter what it is on top of. There is a little bit of flex that is in it. Like I showed with this, I mean, these aren't supposed to bend, but it just gives you an example of sort of, you can see that I'm moving it slightly. So thank you so much for the follow. So you can see I'm moving it slightly. There is a little bit of flex with it, but it is not used for flexibility. It's used because, do you see how thin Worbla is? Look at these sheets. They are razor thin. You do it to add thickness to your armor. You do not want to double up Worbla sheets because you are going to be spending way more money than you absolutely have to. That is why you are doing it, and you're doing the craft foam layers. So let's move on. Yes, it's used for support. That is absolutely right, the real Arby's. So let's move on. I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens when you heat up these thermoplastic materials and what it looks like. It can tear. These things can happen. I'm going to show you exactly how much force, how much heat, what needs to go into it to create them, to tear, to mold, to all of that. So let me just grab my trusty extension cord. You have to have tons. Oh, thank you for the follow. You have to have tons of extension cords just kicking around because that's exactly what's going to happen. Ah, thank you for the follow, Chop. Oh, I left it on. Okay, never leave it in the on position when it's not plugged in. So that can light your house on fire. We do not want that. We do not want houses to burn down for cosplay. No burn for cosplay. All right. So as you can see on this screen right here, this is where I'm going to be doing this. In future, when I do more detailed builds, I'm going to be little right there, and this big screen is going to be where all of the heating and all of the stuff is going on. So I'm going to show you first the little bits of Worbla. Worbla is super easy to cut. Thank you so much for the follow, Oranger. So Worbla is super easy to cut. You just need a good pair of scissors. Slice it up. You can just put it right there. You're all good to go. I'm just going to show you a tiny little piece of regular Worbla first. So, heating up regular Worbla. I need a better camera for my small one. Sorry if it is loud. This is what a heat gun sounds like. It is going to be a little loud. Don't... You know, if somebody's watching TV next to you, have a little bit of courtesy, right? But it is always going to be loud. So, heating it up. So, as you saw before, we have our piece of Worbla. It is hard. It is durable. It does not have much bend. Now, it is completely bendy. It can take, ow, that's hot. It can take complex 3D curves. It bends. It folds. I will do it up closer, chat. Bends and folds. And, like I said, adhesive glue, boom, sticks together. Now, that is not coming off. There is the glue that is involved in there. Now, if you are just using Worbla and you are not using craft foam as a center, that is fine. Some people do things, but just so you know, it tears. There is a tear aspect of it. You can rip it up into little pieces. For future reference, you are going to have lots of pieces of scrap Worbla. Just want to show you a quick little scrap Worbla demo right now. You're going to have scraps that are laying around. Scraps can actually be made into lots of things. So you take your scraps, you can always reheat up Worbla as well. Always, always, always. Reheating Worbla, absolutely. Thank you for the follow, XC3. So you can reheat it up, you can transform again. You probably won't be able to get the same flat sheets that you originally started with when you reheated up. I've seen some people put them through pasta makers to try to get the sheets flat again with all their scraps. It kind of works, but it's just never going to be, you know. Yeah, it's like a detailed cosplay course. That's exactly what this is. Cosplay 101. This is a intro to thermoplastics. This is like a course, like a webinar. And this is what I will be doing every week. So please tune back with this sort of stuff. So I'll show you a quick little example of what I can do with these scraps. See, now they're cool, by the way. Cool to the touch. You have about a minute, 2-minute working period with it. So I'll show you what I can do with some scraps. I'm going to heat these back up. So they are nice and hot again. Ow, really hot. They do sell thermoplastic gloves for working with Worbla, but I just don't use them. I've gotten used to it, but you know. So, but it's to each their own with it. So I'm showing you what you can do with the scraps here. So I've got this. I'm going to point it out. I'm just using my fingers to roll it, just like this. Let's roll it out like this. I'm going to take my scissors, cut off the tip, and after all is said and done, and it has been nicely rolled, I have myself a nice little armor spike that I can use as a spike for whatever, as a tooth if I wanted, as a little horn on my head. See? Little devil horn. So all I did was combine all of my scraps together. I just rolled them, used scissors to cut the tip, and got myself a little horn, a little spike. That you can do with all of your scrap pieces of Worbla. So I just wanted to show that really quick. Don't throw away your scrap pieces. I mean, I have a bag of scrap pieces sitting around over there. But if you are interested in actually keeping them to use for other projects, you can do that. I'm going to leave that to the side. It'll heat up. It'll cool down and everything. Yeah, gloves definitely dull my senses as well. Like, I like being able to feel the Worbla. I like being able to touch it, all of that. So, second thing I'm going to show you as far as how the thermoplastics activate is black Worbla. So, it's going to take it, like I said, super easy to just cut. And this is the black Worbla. Nice, smooth. Now, black Worbla and brown Worbla have a similar activation time and temperature with it, but you are going to notice a little bit of differences with it. So I'm going to just heat it and I will show you. Oh, before, as you can see, hard, stiff. You can just cut those voice segments, I guess. Now, this has taken a little bit of less time. As you can see, I flip my Worbla over. I want even heating on both sides when I'm going to be heating it up. And there it is. Soft, malleable, nice and soft, hot. But, show you up close, soft. But as you can see, it does not have the same grittiness. However, the adhesion in it, if I were to take a piece of heated Worbla to a piece of non-heated Worbla and stick it, it would stick on and it would stay there probably because it really does stick. Black Worbla, it doesn't. The adhesion factor is not the same. So, oh, I'm so glad, Namia, that you're able to join my stream. So yes, as you can see, also cool down time, taking a lot less time to cool down. It is almost done. But, and I'll just show one more thing, tearing factor of this, it tears differently. Do you see how it stretches like that? It has a weirder stretch and holes to it because there is not the same level of glue. It doesn't rip in the same way that you can with regular Worbla. You could also take these scraps, combine them, roll them, cut them, make a little horn if you wanted as well. Always keep your Worbla scraps. Clear Worbla. I will show you guys this. And FYI, for the record, I hate this stuff. I don't hate it, but I do not understand the uses. I don't like it. It's not a personal favorite or a thing for me. So, yes, perfect. So, Tholen, thank you. Wonderful point that was just brought up in chat. Thank you, chat. You guys are wonderful. Always move your heat gun around. Ugh. I need a better camera for this one. I think I'm going to get my main camera. I'm going to do this one as well. So always move your heat gun around so that you do not just burn one spot. Aw, thank you so much, The Real Art Base, for the host. So yes, do not leave it on one spot. It will burn. Worbla can burn. I will let you this. And Worbla can burn. Oh, yes. I'm just trying to, I don't know, I do little fundraisers or whatever, you know, just for a sheet of Worbla for my next costume and stuff. So no pressure about donating or anything like that. But that was just the thing of the banner. It's just for more craft supplies and so I can bring more costumes out and do more crazy tutorials and stuff. But seriously, no pressure with that kind of stuff at all. Donating or whatever. So yes, but that's as far as just raising funds for more craft supplies and costumes and whatever. So, yeah, that's so funny. So somebody said that, so, who was that? Aura, they said that they met me at the con last year, and I had a bunch of samples to give away from cosplaysupplies.com, and I, actually used clear Worbla as paper last year. I, went to just write on it to give some information about something, because that's how much I think of clear Worbla, which is kind of bad, but it's just, it was better used for me as paper than as a craft supply. But because of the sake of stream, guys, I will show you, chat, I will show you this right now. I'm going to cut myself off just a little piece. It is literally just a roll of plastic. It is a roll of plastic. So, as you can see, clear Worbla right here. And I'm heating. Like I said, it takes a lot longer to heat it. It takes way higher heat and the thing gets way hotter. So now it's kind of going flat. It's like kind of bendable. But it smells bad. But it's not, I don't know, it's just essentially like super hot plastic. So, ow. Here it is. It's literally just super hot plastic. It's kind of bendy. So if you were to, let's say, do sort of a shape over like this, you could kind of push it down. Let's sort of try to make some flames. So I'm going to push it over the end of this pen. And remember, there is no adhesion in it, so you don't need to worry about it sticking to your tools. So I'm just going to push it over the edge of the pen right here. Ah, thank you for hosting my stream. Oh, breathing masks? Absolutely not. Worbla is non-toxic. Worbla will not make you sick. Worbla will not... Well, I mean, I should not be saying this right now. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. 20 years down the road, they could show that Worbla caused the biggest amount of cosplay cancer ever, and I would have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but as it says on their website, and you can look up the MS, I think it's called MSRs or MSDs or whatever, the actual toxicity rating of that stuff, and it is non-toxic. So Worbla's great. You don't need a breathing mask. You can do it inside. I actually like the smell of Worbla. It smells sweet. It smells, to me, it smells like crafting and costumes and armor and cookies. So just to show you guys, here is what I made. It is, I don't know, I put it on the end of the pen there. I kind of made some little sort of plastic flower thing. I'll do it up close over here. I don't know, kind of like flames. Like you could paint them, you could spray them clear, put some LEDs in there. Sort of got flames, whatever. It stayed in that shape, but it's a little more squishy, and it's just, that's kind of the end use. Only if you roll it up like this will it actually stick to itself. So that's that. But MSDS, yes. I said something MSD. Did I say that? I don't know. Anyway, yes, so you can check out the MSDS on Worbla. They obviously have the stuff available on the internet, and there is not the toxic chemicals or anything that comes with things like spray paint, with that sort of stuff. So that's clear Worbla. There is sort of some uses to it. It depends on what you're sort of into, and if you can kind of find something, like I said, you're doing, you know, you want fire, you want ice looking flowers or something, I don't know, you can definitely use it for that. It is not something that I am going to be advocating as one of the greatest cosplay supplies or crafting supplies that has ever, you know, hit the market. So now let's look at the last thing. Now this sucks because I forgot to bring some tin foil in here. So we're gonna hope that these things do not go everywhere. But I'm gonna show this. Oh, thank you, Lost Nights, for the follow. So I'm gonna just try so hard to show you guys this without these going everywhere. And they will probably go everywhere, but I have these here. Once I get them a little bit sticky, it should be okay. I'm going to use my rulers because they're metal to try and sort of have them not go a bunch of places. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do the lowest setting. Ah, they're flying. No. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So I got a couple little stickies. Now I got to just combine this so that they don't all go everywhere. Bear with me for a second, stream. So they're kind of going in. Do you see that? Should not have done high. All right. They're all over the floor, and I will have to pick those up later, but that's okay. So here we go, chat. I'm just going to combine these. And this is the friendly plastic. This is the stuff that ends up being like, yeah, you could use it for a Kylo Ren lightsaber or something like that. Ah, I'm okay, I got it. These hands have been burnt with everything. So I will show you right now this. I've kind of combined them a bit. It's not very hot, but this stuff gets really, really hot. So it is just my little mound of balls that have all gone together. Now watch this. It's like a magic trick. This stuff is going to go clear. That's how you know that it is activated. Flip it over. So you can, so you can kind of see. Let's do it on the zoom in. Oh, that's hot. They're really hot. This stuff's hot. Do you see? It's sort of clear. That's what happens when it gets activated. It will go back to white when it's cooled down and everything. So, don't worry. I'm good. I'm not going to burn myself too crazy. So I'll show you. Just you can see it's gone kind of clear. Heating it up a bit. You can always reheat thermoplastics, like I said. And there you go. See, it's clear. I just rolled it up. Now this is great. It is like modeling clay, but it is a thermoplastic. So that means that there is self-adhesion in it, and it will bond to other thermoplastics. See? Oh. Now, this stuff is really great for making smooth teeth and all of that. So let's make another tooth. We'll make an actual tooth and make like a hook tooth or something. So I'm just heating it up on here. Getting it all nice and clear. And it's always smooth. You can leave fingerprints in this, so try to smooth it out and be careful. A lot of people will have a cup of water that they will dip their fingers into, and then they will work with it to avoid doing fingerprints and that and the like. Because it is so malleable, it can take a while to get the hang of what kind of pressure and every sort of touch that you're going to use on this. So let's do it like that. So you can see, starting out my crazy tooth, it is still a bit clear. which means I have a little more working time. So let's just start out this spike right here. And I'll take my scissors, do a nice little snippet. Let's make this one sort of a curved hook tooth. Trying to roll it, just roll gentle, get them as sort of smooth as possible. Trying to get some fangs going out there. All right. So I got it starting, got my fangs starting. I'm gonna leave it heated like this because like I said, they can be it's very, very malleable. It can totally end up just folding over on itself if it's not cooled enough. And this will take a little bit longer to cool than your other stuff. But you know when it's done because it goes back to turning white. So I'm gonna leave that there. Obviously, if I was doing this on an actual cosplay, I would take a little more time, but I'm just gonna leave it. You can sort of see it on the middle right there. I'm leaving it standing up. It's already starting to lean over on itself. Trying my best not to, but you can see I've got the hook saber tooth sort of like appearance that's starting to go there. All right. Now, the final thing, while this is cooling before I show this, just in regards to understanding thermoplastics and everything, what I like to say is that thermoplastics are like there's all different ways for you to make armor and to make costumes. Thermoplastics are not the ultimate way for you to do that. You don't need to always use Worbla or whatever. That's just my preferred method. It's what I enjoy. It's the type of material that I have the best time sort of using and whatever. So you can also use foam and everything, but like I say about Worbla and thermoplastics is they are like a Mac, and foam is like a PC. So Mac products work only with other Mac products. PC works with everything. Foam can be glued to anything. Foam can be glued to plastic. Foam can be glued to whatever, leathers, to other foams, to all sorts of different stuff. Worbla does not work with glue very well. You are going to want to be using other thermoplastics when you are working with thermoplastics. They have that self-adhesion. They have that stuff that makes them work with each other, not with other things. You do use foam in them, but I will show you that process in a minute. So it is definitely, if you are thinking about it, you are going to want to go on the thermoplastic route and start doing it with thermoplastics as opposed to foam, which you can kind of glue with everything. Now, because thermoplastics have the built-in glue, it just makes them so much easier because you don't need all these steps and you don't need all these components. Like if you're making full foam things, you need stuff like barge, you need a whole bunch of different glues. You can do crazy glue, you can do whatever you want to use foam. But it's a lot more steps and a lot more process. These come with their own sort of different steps and different process, but I love that there is a self-adhesion that's in there. So just taking a drink of my coffee. While I'm taking a sip of my coffee, does anybody have any questions about anything? Sorry. Oh, give me 1 second. There's one final thing that I just want to show you guys. So content cement doesn't work well. I will show you a whole, oh yeah, next stream we are going to go into attachments. We are going to go into how you attach your armor, like all of this stuff. This is a process. I want you guys to tune back. I want you guys to really learn. This is not just some, starting cosplay to the whole cosplay is completed in a 20-minute video. This is not. This is real, honest lessons, tutorials, and stuff of how to actually do this. And we're going to be going through this process all together. So you will see all that stuff. And in that, second wind just mentioned in chat, in that one respect, there's one final thing that I forgot to show you guys. And I would like to show you guys this right now. Hold on. I am looking for it. Why, oh why did I not have these sitting here? Sorry, chat. 1 second. Whoops. Thank you for bearing with me. Blah. I'm so glad. And like I said, these are going to be archived. They'll be uploaded onto YouTube and then future streams. Oh, also, FYI stream, if you guys have any really burning questions or you started making cosplay, it's not working out or something's going on there, then literally during the week, like in between my stream times, like in between these episodes of happening, you want to send me photos. I'm going to be devoting the very first 10-15 minutes, if I get lots of questions, to going over your stuff. You say, oh, this exploded on me, or my paint's bubbling, or this is happening. I'm going to spend the first time looking at your stuff. You can send me pictures over Facebook or over Instagram, DM me, whatever, and I'm going to go over, just like do the title, you know, cooking with Worbla or crafting with Worbla or, you know, whatever, right? And you can go over that stuff and I will spend the first bit explaining all of that stuff to you and being like, hey, so-and-so, like, you know, Jenny from Michigan sent me a photo of her armor and how it was peeling and blah, blah, blah. And I'll put the picture up on the screen. I'll say, this is what you can do to avoid this. And these are things that have worked out for me in the future. And I've had success with, and all of that stuff, just so you guys can really have more of an in-depth connection to it. So you're going tomorrow to Cologne tomorrow to buy first sheet of Worbla. Awesome. Go to Industrial Paints and Plastics. It will be a little bit overpriced, but it's great. Like, you'll be able to go in there and get it. So the final thing, if you just want to donate through Twitch, that would be great. That is amazing. All I have is sort of my Twitch donations and my print store. So Namia, if you just want to donate through Twitch, that would be amazing. And I'm going to put my top donators and stuff up on a little board and all of that stuff, and you'll get special shout outs. And I know people do things like gems or coins or whatever, and so I'm going to try to start that. I don't really know how it works. That's why this is all new and everything. So I'm so happy that you like what I'm doing. Okay, so final thing. This is just getting back to what Second Wind was talking about. He said, can you do stuff on attachments? That's all going to be future things. Oh, I also found this that says Madness. This is Worbla. These are little stickers I was supposed to give away at the con. So, woo! So you get that, it resupplies the thing. 300 reference. It's been years since we talked about 300. So there you go. But yes, if you do want to do that sort of stuff, yes, I will be doing this platform. I'll be going back a Facebook page to donate to these things. Yeah, that is a really good idea. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, I do get a lot of messages and stuff, and so I will do absolutely my darndest. That's why I said to put in sort of like a subject text or whatever, if you can mention the stream, to be able to... Oh, coins and gems. Okay. I'll try to do something like that for the future. But if you can put in subject text about, you know, your issues and stuff, I'm going to be devoting the first of these stream, like first minutes or whatever. Oh, and I also, yeah, for questions, that kind of stuff. So, and I'm going to be going through all sorts of things, everything from pattern creation to, you know, prepping your work. Oh, and the other thing, and so you said coins and gems. I make all of my own gemstones. I do all of my own resin casting, everything. I want to show you this just really quick. I do not want to bang all my stuff. This is my Jaina staff. I love this staff. This was a big deal for me making this. This is a purely resin casted gem that I did myself. I was able to get a piece of wood and to put it into the shape that I wanted to, using lathes and sanders and everything. And then I made a silicone mold and used clear resin to cast it through. There is lights and there is LEDs that are in this. I will, Anonymous, thank you for the follow. I will be teaching you guys how to do this. You want to start making your own resin gems with LEDs in it? Absolutely. I'll be teaching you guys how to make silicone molds, how to go through all sorts of crafting, wiring, LEDs. I taught myself on the internet. I made the man at the electronics store draw me a picture of how a circuit worked. And I was like, Mister, please, like, draw me the picture, like, man, help me. And I didn't get it. And then I experimented and I got a couple shocks and that was okay. And I figured it out. I figured out how to do circuitry. I figured out how to do all of that stuff. So if you guys are wanting to learn how to do that, that is going to be covered. These are all going to be episodic things of that you can always go back to that are going to be full, long, detailed explanations about how to make gemstones, how to make staffs, how to make swords, all of these really incredible elements of cosplay. And now I don't know where to put this. So I'm going to try my best to put this on the ground. There you go, Dana Proudmore, my precious. So, oh, and painting and everything. So I use a sealant. I use a clear coat sealant. I will go into all of things like protective painting. So if you want to, if you're looking for that right now, go and get the Krylon brand. There is a rule of thumb when it comes to protecting your armor. If you have done something that is metal, you are going to want to use a matte finish. Matte finish for metal. You're going to, or no, not matte finish, sorry. Satin finish for metal. Satin finish for metal. If you are doing something like wood, rock, organic stuff, matte finish for rock. If you are doing hardcore like Halo armor or Mass Effect or something that's plastic that you want shiny, that you want it to be really, really shiny, kind of that sort of stuff, you're going to want to use a gloss finish for your sealer. But I'm going to go into all of that stuff in future episodes. You can join me along with me when I go into all the things. Acrylic paints versus airbrushing. All of how to get certain highlights. How to do all of that stuff. It's all going to go into it. But going back, yeah, McCree's gun is actually like on the wall over there. Can kind of see it. So, aw, thank you, Christian. Love you too. Okay, so I'm going to go into the first thing that I'm going back to Second Wind. He asked, attaching armor. This is the final thing. This was on my materials list. I will flash that because for people who are just joining now, just so you can see it, second point, materials list of the majority of things. There are specific little things and the materials list will update every time I do a stream. I will go through. Obviously, if I'm doing resin casting, there will be resin on there. There will be silicone putty. There will be box molds and whatever will be on this list. But this is the materials list of just the basic starting thing. D-rings. That's the one thing that I forgot to talk about. So D-rings are these little items. You can get these at any sort of craft store. You can get them at fabric stores. Fabricland really overcharges for them. So you want to kind of find a store that has a big pile of them that you can kind of just take by the weight and put in bags. There's this really crazy store in Calgary that's like, it's like, do you remember the movie Silence of the Lambs when he has all those crazy rooms in his house with all these doors that lead to all this other stuff? This costume store, I mean, this fabric store is like Silence of the Lambs, but not evil and not full of murder. But it's full of fabric rolls and doors that lead to other doors of fabric. And it's just wild. They have D-rings by the bucketful every time. Aw, thank you for the follow, Blue Easy. Every time that I go to Calgary, I stock up on piles and piles of D-rings. Like you can see, there is varying sizes and dimensions. There's small ones, there's big ones. These are the ultimate things that you are going to use to attach your armor to yourself. So this is a big thing. So yes, Dollarama, perfect. I didn't even know that Dollarama has them, but if Dollarama has them, awesome. That is great. That is what you are going to want. You want to get the cheapest supplies that you can possibly get, and then you make everything look real expensive. That's the trick of cosplay. You do not need to do this and breaking the bank. I mean, I'm going to be experimenting with some costumes later this year that are going to be really wild. I'm going to do some insane mold making, casting, dragon skin, silicone stuff to push myself to that limit. And I will make sure to document that stuff and bring you all along for the ride. Thank you so much, Alpha Wolf, for the follow. So, going back into our explanation, since we kind of got sidetracked just talking about things, just wanted to show you this is done. It is now back to white. It is like a tooth. People have actually used this to make fake teeth, vampire teeth, tusks. If you are a troll or a orc in World of Warcraft, right? People have actually used this. They've taken it, they've been very careful, and they shaped them to their own teeth so that you're able to do this. So there's little, you know, horns. I use it as my barbarian necklaces, is like my teeth necklace and stuff. So you can see that is done, and it is white, and it is spiky. So we have two different ways of sort of doing horns and all of that. So, so been trying to, yay, no, you didn't miss it. It's actually going to be like quite, thank you so much for the follow. This is going to be a quite long time. See, the problem with doing panels or doing, like any sort of seminar type stuff is they're like, hey, you're on the clock. You've got 1 hour. You got 45 minutes to do this panel. And you try to fit in all of this stuff. You cannot get to questions. You cannot get to any of this stuff. You know? It's all like just so rushed. And then you feel like you didn't even get this. This is a limited amount of time. We can be here talking about cosplay and going through explanations and going through the building process for as long as we want, right? So let's go in to the next, okay, FYI, the very next stream that I'm going to be doing, very next stream, it'll probably actually only be just in a couple days because I want to get this a little more up and going and the ball rolling. Very next stream I'm going to be doing is pattern drafting. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Christina. Is it Christina or Christian? Christians. Okay. The next thing I'm going to be doing is pattern drafting. How do you make that breastplate? How do you make a bracer? How do you actually get these base patterns for it? That is going to be the next stream. I will explain a little bit about it here, but I need to just go through the basics of the materials and the techniques that you're going to be using so that you guys can kind of get an idea of it, so you have some tools for the next stream when we start doing our patterns and stuff. So that is going to be the very next one. If you're interested on how I draft shoulder armor, that is the biggest question that I get, is how do you make shoulder armor patterns? And I will show you. I'm going to show all of you exactly what I do. And like I said before, if I can do it, you can do it too. Anybody can do it. So the next thing that I want to go into is, thank you Voodoo Dolls for the follow. So the next thing, it's magic. It is magic. So the next thing that I'm going to go into is just the basic ways that you are going to attach your Worbla together. There's a couple techniques that you need to learn before you start working with Worbla. These are the basic, just step-by-steps of how to get into doing a more complex armor design. Now, I am sure that you guys have watched a ton of videos, even if you go onto my own Facebook page where there's links up at the top and everything, you can see all of my work in progress shots of albums of my armors that I've done, and I say the sandwich method. What is this? What is the sandwich method? So you'll get people like the mother of Worbla herself, Kamui, who will be talking about the sandwich method when it comes to creating thermoplastics. Yeah, it is super hot. So so the sandwich method is the thing that you will be using when you start doing your crafting. I will show you exactly what that means, because when people are explaining or they're talking, it is so hard to understand, and I'm going to go through step by step of what the sandwich method is and how you get it going. Okay, so let's take, I have some patterns here. Let's see. So I will show you how to, like I said, I'm going to show you next episode of how to create all of these, but I have my entire thing of patterns. These are all patterns that I have made, that I have recopied and everything. to make all of my armors and that I saved. I think we're going to use this little pattern right here. This was for, do you guys know my Vaporeon, right? I'll get the helmet back out and show you guys. Boom. Vaporeon helmet. So I had my bracer and I had a little bracelet that was on the side that I had a gemstone on. This is my bracelet. This is my Vaporeon bracelet pattern. I saved my pattern because I always save all of your patterns. Every time you make one, always save it. So that is what I'm going to show you the sandwich method with. And I'll make myself a little bracelet. So let's take, it's a shame. I only have my black foam. I wish that I had my white foam so you guys could see me tracing. Let's see. Do I have still some white foam here? No. I only have black foam. I'm sorry, guys, but I will show you right now. So I take my old patterns. I will show you exactly next time how to draft patterns because it is a long process. And I'll show you how to draft. Thank you so much for the follow. I will show you how to draft. I need more boobs. No, I don't, because I'm a cosplayer and I don't have to show cleavage to be able to do a good stream. Isn't that right, folks? We can have fun and learn things and have a great time, and I don't need to take my top off. But speaking of that, next episode when I do pattern drafting, I will show you all the different types of pattern, and it is going to get weird. I am going to be taping myself up and everything. I'm going to show you, actually, I will probably have to be in a swimsuit top, but I'm going to show you how to do a breastplate pattern. I'm going to show you how to do this, and I'm going to physically be taping myself up and showing you exactly how I do it and draw it instead of just explaining it so that you guys can go along, go back through these archives, do whatever, and do it too. Thank you, Themavids, I'm bad with names, for the follow. So, I will post when my next stream will be. Once I start doing a couple more of these, I'm going to get on a regular schedule. You will know that you can tune into Cooking with Worbla or whatever I will end up calling it. Every week at this certain time, there will be a specific thing. If the stream and I start getting more questions, stuff becomes more popular, I'll be doing then 2 streams as far as crafting. One will be the tutorials, panel, explanation stream, and the other one will be your comments and questions and helping you guys through all of the crafting there. So, oh, you didn't miss the stream. We still got it, and you can go look in the archives. Use the clear Worbla. I am not going to use the clear Worbla. No clear Worbla. I hate it. Bad clear Worbla. So I'm going to show you guys the sandwich method. This is the biggest thing that people will talk about when making Worbla costumes and making thermoplastic costumes. They will say, you're going to use the sandwich method, and this is what I'm going to do. Yes, I do have a Twitter also, but I don't really use it. I don't get it. I don't understand Twitter. I've never got it. I don't know how it works, really. So I have one, and it exists, but I have never used it. Instagram will be the best way that you can catch my streams, but I will try to tweet them out. You can go follow my Twitter. There is a link on my profile, on my bio of my Twitch and everything that you can click, and you can go to it. So, all right. And that's because I've also got links to my print store and stuff. Somebody was asking earlier about donations and about whatever. That's a big thing for me as well. I do have my print store. If you do want to get some prints, that always, all proceeds go to the cosplay fund and to making new costumes. And that is another way for support. I'm also thinking of starting Patreon soon, maybe, so that I can actually offer some more in-depth stuff and actually do one-on-one mentorship and coaching through of cosplay stuff through my Patreon. So I'm thinking about that, but that's not even in the works yet. That's like way other stuff. But yes, so yeah, I don't get about Twitter and everything. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I was made to get one, but oh, you sent me a little gift. Yay! I'm so excited. Thank you, Davia. I will, and I will open it. Oh no, back to work. Okay, well, I hope to catch you next time and everything. This will be more frequent and whatever. So, I am going to put this out here. Doot, doot, doot. Aw, lots of hearts. Okay. So I'm just going to use this. I wish I had some white craft foam because it's just easier to see, but I only have black right now, so the rolls come in black and white. You can't really have a choice. All right. So, make it a sandwich. Go make your own sandwich. Come on. You can get your own stuff. What am I going to do? Make you sandwiches? That's not what this is about. Though I did hear that there's eating streams on Twitch now, so I was like, what? Crazy, wild. All right. So the first thing that I am going to do, and it's going to be hard because you can't really see it, is I have my base patterns, and I never ruin my base patterns. I keep them in that nice little horrible envelope. That was actually my best costume that I won at the 2014 Calgary Fan Expo. I got best costume. Wow. So I got a $100 fabric club discount, and since then I have used this to hold all my patterns. So my award bag. So that was super cool. Oh, yes. The breastplate that I have in the back table is my Sailor Jupiter one. I'll bring it forward just so you guys can see it. But I'm also going to devote my streams to doing it. But of course, to show you all the process of how to make things, I'm going to have to make something. So I'm going to pick a project. It would actually be great if you guys could comment and let me know which project you want me to make. And I'll probably remake something. So if you are interested, making a Sailor Scout, I may go through the entire build of this because it will teach you guys how to make breastplates, how to make shoulders, how to cast resin gems, all of that stuff. So if you guys want to see me recreate a Sailor Scout, and then I think maybe I might just recreate some parts, elements of it, specifically the breastplate for sure, and other elements like the shoulders and whatever. And so maybe in one of my creations that I recreate, I may give it away to one of the followers who tunes into the streams or whatever. So we'll see. That's all future tentative stuff. But yes, Sailor Jupiter breastplate. Ooh. One of my favorites. I love this costume. It is absolutely one of my favorites, and it shows so many complex levels of detail. So getting back to the sandwich method, some of the first techniques that you need to learn to start working with Worbla is the sandwich method. They stretch out just a little bit, so yeah. World of Warcraft. It's not bad, Scott. It's not bad. I know. I gotta come up with some name or something. I'll have a cute little like intro screen. I'll be like boo 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 and this little show stuff. So yeah, I love. It stretches just a bit. So Paladin, do the spalter. Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever. Like I've got my Paladin breastplate just kicking it back there as well. But yeah, I'll pick one and then it will be just, you know, all these techniques can be put towards a different costume that you are making, but just so you have a physical example, that will go. So the first thing I'm going to show you with the sandwich method is you take your base pattern and you are going to retrace it onto your craft foam that you are using. I will get some white so that you can actually see it. But you'll take your pattern and you're retracing it onto here so that you can just make a duplicate pattern. So, almost done tracing. The other problem with black craft foam is that you cannot see your lines as well as you would like, right? Because it's dark. There we go. So you can kind of see, do it in there. You can see my outline that I traced onto my craft foam. So I'm going to then proceed to cut out my pattern. My original pattern of my little bracelet goes safely back in my bag. Always save your patterns. They will come in handy in the future like you wouldn't believe. Aw, happy birthday, Forza. Hello, happy birthday. So, they will come in handy like you would not believe. Okay. So, I am cutting out my pattern. I like how it just got so quiet. Let's get them paying attention. I'm using scissors. Someone just like right in the eye. All right. Yeah, gel pen for sure. But when it's white, it shows like no problem. You can use any pen. I use a ballpoint pen because I want my lines to be as exact as possible and as close to the original pattern. So there we go. I have my pattern. I have my base pattern. Now this is a perfect example to show the sandwich method, because if you notice this, there is two different types of lines that are in this pattern. Straight edged lines, and this one, because it goes around my wrist, has a slight curve. This is where I'm going to show you all of my techniques that I use to sandwich everything with weird little supplies that I've never seen other people use. That is really going to be, you know, so handy and everything for the future. So we're going to just use brown Worbla for right now because it is easier than, where'd my other sheet of brown Worbla go? Yeah, I should have enough here. Okay, so then you get your Worbla sheet out. So you've made your pattern, and like I said, next episode, pattern drafting, and we're going to be doing pattern making, and I will show you all of that stuff. So once you have your pattern already made, you will put it on your Worbla, and this is where I like to use my pen here. And you're going to, thank you, Eugene Air, for the follow. You are going to trace it out. Now, here is the thing. The sandwich method requires sandwiching the craft foam piece between two pieces of Worbla. Whenever they talk about the sandwich method in tutorials, that's what they mean. Sandwiching the craft foam into two pieces of Worbla. It is very, very important that you leave yourself seam lines. Now, what seam lines are, I will show you, is that you are going to have to join two pieces together. Remember, Worbla doesn't stick to foam. It only sticks to itself. So you've got to make sure that you have proper seam lines when you're doing this. So when you get a little more advanced and you start working with it more and get more used to the material, your seam lines can get smaller and smaller to save material. Try to make them a little larger at first because it will just, you won't get breaks in the Worbla and have it pop open and then have them rip apart. So try to make them a bit bigger at first. So I'm going to create my seam line so I have my pattern right on the Worbla, and I'm going to draw with a Sharpie sort of around, making a little bit larger seam lines at first around my pattern, just like so. There, so you can see the line went all the way around my pattern. That's my one side of it. Now I'm going to do my second side. When you get more used to doing patterns and to making seam lines and everything, you want to do your pattern pieces as close as possible to save Worbla. Time is money. Save Worbla. Hello. Hi, K-Bike. Yes, black Worbla. Oh my God, I will show you. It is amazing. We're doing the brown stuff first, but I just went through the explanations of all of my black Worbla. I don't even know where it went right now. But yes, this is just our craft foam. We're doing brown Worbla. We're doing the sandwich method right now. So, all right. Yeah, this is the craft foam. The black Worbla has been put somewhere. Here it is. Black Worbla again. You can do this on the black Worbla. when you are doing, if you're using black Worbla instead of brown Worbla, I recommend using a silver Sharpie pen, like the type of stuff that you do signatures or whatever with, because then it shows up on the black, because look, black does not show up on the black. Well, it kind of does, but not very well. So I would recommend using a silver pen. So, yes, sandwiches. We are doing the sandwich stuff right now. So we're doing the sandwich techniques so that people can learn techniques for the future. So when future shows happen, you are prepared. So like I said, I did my first pattern and now I am tracing my second one. Leaving big old seam lines because I am going to make sure that I am not going to break my Worbla apart. That is not going to pop open on the sides. So like I said, when you started off, big old seam lines. When you get more advanced and you get more experience with the material, you're going to want to make your pieces as close as possible to save time, to save money, to save Worbla for the future. Alrighty, there we go. I've got my two sides of my sandwich. This is the meat. This is the bread. Meat and bread. That's why it's called the sandwich method. So when people explain that in tutorial videos, you know what's going on. Can I just trace the shape you did to the other side? So it can be the same size. You totally can. You could then cut this out. You cut the first one out and trace it to the other side. However, say you have a piece like this, right? Where you've got certain things are not even on the sides, right? You're going to want to use the pattern and put it on top so that you're making sure you're getting the specific shape and the specific way of it. The other thing as well, yeah, meat and bread hype. Do I have training in education? I am an elementary school teacher, okay? I am a substitute elementary school teacher, so I teach K to 7 and the little babies. So I'm used to standing in front of a class and talking to people. However, the children that I usually teach are not you guys. They're usually 4 or 5, and they only care about Mario and Lego Ninjago. So this is a lot easier and better. Yeah, so you've got your two sandwiches. You've got your bread. I'm so glad you could tell. That's awesome. This is my first time doing a crafting stream too, Kay. So it's my very first cosplay stream, so I'm hoping it goes well and I'm excited for it and I'm hoping to do more in the future. So it's this exciting very first one. Hoping it goes well. But yes, I will now begin and I'm going to start cutting out my bread for my sandwich, my Worbla sandwich. So, have I shown my cosplay to the children? I've brought in a couple pieces. The one thing I did bring in was we were doing a huge unit on space. And so I brought in all of my lightsabers and they had to split up the class in two and to do reports. So I did half of the class for Jedis and half the class for Siths when they did the reports. And when they presented, that was the only time they were allowed to touch the lightsabers. So that was fun and the kids really liked it. So that was a good one for sure. So yes, I will be doing more streams, hopefully. But this, I hope it's going well for you guys. Let me know if you're enjoying it so far. Like I said, first stream, technical problems, things happen, but yes. So, oh, thank you, yay. So I am now going to start out cutting out my quote-unquote bread for my sandwich method of Worbla. I am cutting it out right now. You're going to just cut your lines. Your lines don't have to be completely perfect because these are, you will be trimming this in after doing this. I will show you exactly step by step how to do that stuff. AC Rune, thank you for the follow. So, I am doing my cutting right now, getting my pieces of bread out. Boom. For my Worbla sandwich. That's one. Remember, save your scraps. Look at what happened with our scraps. We made spikes and horns and all of that stuff. Save your scraps. Make sure you put them in a nice big scrap box. All right. Thank you. I am so glad that you're enjoying it for my first attempt. Okay. So I am cutting out my second side. Also, people have created a myth about Worbla that if you can kind of see See how one side is shiny and one side is not really shiny? They say that you can only use the glue side and blah, blah, blah. That is not true. You can use either side. I just try to match up my side shiny to shiny and matte to matte, but you can use any side. They all have glue in them and it all works fine. You can even combine black Worbla and brown Worbla together because like I said, it's a MacBook. It works with other Mac products perfectly and seamlessly. So I am cutting out my breads. I really wanted you guys to see this technique before because when we progress on with more detailed and more complex streams about how to do things and more greater tutorials and step-by-step cooking instructions for this stuff, you guys need to have the tools. It's like learning how to boil water. It's like learning how to break an egg, right? You need to know how to crack the egg first, and once you know how to crack the egg, you can start making the omelet, and that's how this is gonna go. So, there you go. Yeah, it's like, that's what I was saying earlier, Kay, is that thermoplastics are like a Mac and foam is like a PC. It bonds to everything, but it can sometimes be not as smooth and shine and polished. Thank you for the follow. And with the Mac, they only work with other Mac products, but damn, Apple makes good products, don't they? So, you know, you kind of give and take. So I'm putting all of my scraps on the side. Now I have my two pieces. One will go on top of the other, right? Just like that. I like to, here's something, because we're only doing two here, that's fine. Not a big deal. If you are doing multiple pieces, like I showed you, look at this. Look at how many pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these are a bunch of different pieces. Pieces here, pieces here. Label your pieces. I do A and B, and then say I have two of these, right? So like I'll make 2 A's and then 2 B's, and this one will be A, this will be B, or I'll do A1, or I'll do B1, or I'll do whatever. Just mark your stuff down, guys. Make sure that you're kind of paying attention and you're not screwing stuff up so that when you start to go put it together, you're like, oh my God, A was put on B and C is now over here and I have totally lost everything and this totally sucks. So just make sure you do your labeling. Always preventative measures before you start doing cosplay stuff. You can label them Bill and Ted. You can label them whatever you would like. You can label them Finn and Jake. You can label them you know, Tyrande and Malfurion. You can label them whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I use A and B because, you know, they just need to be marked. That's just kind of the way it goes, right? So yes, sandwiches. Okay, making people hungry, not trying to. So we got them all measured out. You can see I have left seam allowances here. And let's put it on top. Yep. Looks pretty good. Looks like there's good seams. Now these seam allowances are going to play a part. Woolly Bear, thank you for the follow. These seam allowances are going to play a part in your things sticking together. Remember, foam does not stick to Worbla. So how do we get it stuck together so that it's double-sided, so that it is a thick, full, hard product of armor? We use the seam allowance edges and we stick the Worblas to each other. I'm trying to, so you can see the black through kind of a little bit. It kind of disappears. Like, I wish you could see it through. I wish I had a flashlight that I could go through, but you can see there is some seam allowance that is in there. That is what is going to make your Worbla stick together. So I am going to be using, obviously, my heat gun, but there is 2 tools that I use when I do my bonding of my Worbla. First tool is my trusty paint scraper. I got this with my first heat gun. It came with to scrape paint. Anyway, it came to scrape paint. I got it for paint scraping with my first heat gun because you usually heat up walls and you scrape all the paint. So I got this, and this is my majority bonder. This is what I am going to use to press my parts together. If you just use your fingers and press them, the bond is not going to be as complete. It is not going to be as ingrained and as close to your original pattern. Because remember, at the end of the day, this is our pattern. This size and this shape is not our pattern. We want this exactly, just with a beautiful, shiny, perfect coating of nice, hard Worbla. So, if Oh, can I do the double heat gun thing? No, I can't do the double heat gun thing because I live in a super old house. When I do double heat guns on things, the fuse box goes and all the lights go off in the house. I am not joking. I'm amazed I'm able to power as much stuff as I am powering right now. But it is true. The heat guns draw a lot of power. And so when I do too, it's like poof and the lights go off. That has happened when I was trying to get ready for BlizzCon or I was trying to make Hanzo or something like that. And it was like, boom, done. And I was really upset. We had to find the fuse boxes and there were spiders all over it and there were spiders everywhere. And I was like, no, awful. So I cannot do the double wielding. But that's just because I live in a super old school house. So the very first tool, like I said, is the paint scraper. This is to push in these edges right here on the very straight, direct edges. Now, a lot of people will use things. You can use a metal ruler if you want. Some people use knives, like butter knives and stuff. You can do that. You could sort of use your X-Acto, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now, the real trick of everything, and this is my own personal little secret that I am sharing with you, chat, and all my panels and stuff that I do. But the biggest thing that has been a huge source of help for me is that you remember at the bottom of this right here, whoops, there is a curved edge because it goes around our wrist. When you saw the other part on the shoulder, there was curves. There's curves that goes around things. How do you get them to bond together when it is curved? A protractor. This is the craziest, best thing that I've come up with. You just roll it along the edge and now you're not struggling with a straight line. The protractor is the god. I love it. So let's get our sandwich method going. The first thing that you are going to want to do is you're going to want to heat up. You can heat up both sheets at a time. Start with your bottom one. I always like to mark. This is a big thing. Which side is the good side I want to be and which side is the bad side. So everything that I lay face down here, because there is less heat that goes on it just in a general span of things, is the side that I want showing. This is the right side. That is what I have determined. Okay, let's heat it up. I'm heating up the first side, making sure it gets all malleable and all foldy and everything. Not too much though, or you'll create bubbling. I am using the high heat right now, like I said, but you will want to start on low heat for a first time. So we're gonna do low heat first time. I'll show you how long it takes. I can feel it. You start to get a feeling of it. There's one side a little hard there. You can see it's starting to get a lot more bendy. Doing it, it almost changes to a tiny little bit of a different color. So, got it there. Flipping it over. All right, first side's good. Now I move on to the second side. Get a little heated. You will heat it up again. The more times that you heat Worbla, the more times you run the risk of imperfections, i.e. bubbles, i.e. tears, i.e. all of that stuff. You are going to want to heat it as little times as possible. We do the flip over. It's like making pancakes, you know? You're going to do one side and flip it over. We got lots of food going on this thing. Pancakes, sandwiches, whatever. All right. So we have this first one heated up. Put that down right here. And I'm going to take my pattern piece and just gently lay it on top. Here is the secret trick that I have learned with doing this. Take a flat edge after you have laid it on top. This is super critical and super important. There could be air under there. Gently scrape it over top of this to eliminate air bubbles. See, look at the method I'm doing. Scraping over top to eliminate any sort of air bubbles that may come in here. So it seems pretty sufficiently stuck right there. And then I'm going to take my other piece, which is still hot and still malleable, and I'm going to lay it just gently on top. Don't squeeze in the edges, stream. Do not squeeze in the edges yet because you will lock in air bubbles on top of it. Do not stream the edges. Just gently lay it on top. Now I'm going to heat it again just one more time. Give it a nice little go right here. Nice and gentle. Always moving. Always going around. And I'm going to take my knife. Put it over top, trying to get out as much air as I possibly can. Now you will see that it is starting to form over. You can gently put your finger on it just like that, and you see the edge is starting. That's our craft foam underneath, and the Worbla is sandwiching to the other piece of Worbla. It is bonding to it. Thank you so much for the follow. So it is bonding right now. You can see the edges in there. I'll pick it up and go in. You can see it's starting to bond. There it is underneath. But if you just press it with your fingers, it's just not gonna stay. It's gonna rip apart eventually. That's where you come in. You got your straight edge and you push it down. Lay in on the edge and push. I'm actually using a decent amount of force. Pushing in. Right to the very edge of my pattern piece, of my foam. And I'm solidifying this bond. Can you see that, chat? It is bonded. These pieces are stuck together on this edge here. Then it's cooled down a little bit. Thank you so much for the follow. It's cooled down just a little bit. So I'm gonna get these little edges right at the end here. A little bit more heat, not too crazy, not too nuts. And again, these ones were straight edges, correct? So we're going to just press it in just a little bit so I can see my edge. Press it in just a little bit. And boom, press, straight, structured. There we go. They are all bonded. You can see the other side. That is the flat, nice, barely had heat touching its side. This is the side that we'll be showing. These are all of the bonded edges. Sandwiched. You just sandwiched it around. That's the sandwich method. Now remember, we had this curve at the bottom of the wrist. If I were to use a flat edge and go straight along it, there would be a couple little gaps. There would be stuff that are missing. Oh, thank you so much, AZ Room, for the donation. I appreciate that so much. So there will be little things that will be missing. There will be gaps. So I'm going to heat this. It's getting just the edge. You don't want to overheat your Worbla. There you go. And here it is, the magical wand protractor that comes into this that is just amazing. So I'm now just rolling along. If you can see here, just taking it, see I'm doing this, and just rolling along the edge of where my foam is and connecting both pieces with a curve so that everything is as close and as direct as possible to my original pattern shape. This is the sandwich method. Whenever you see cosplayers who wake up with armor that do tutorial videos and say, first off, do the sandwich method, this is it. These are the skills you need to learn before you start doing that. If you want to make pancakes, make a pancake. Learn how to flip it. This is exactly what this is. So I am rolling this, and there you go. Everything is all connected. So now what do? Is my piece of armor done? Do I just put it on? No! Look at these unsightly seam lines. Those are super ugly. I don't like that. I don't want that in my stuff. But because we use such good tools to bond it to... Whoa. Almost cut my leg there, chat. Because we use such good tools to hack down and to bond it, because we were able to get the perfect curved edge that we put in there, we have made ourselves amazing lines for cutting. You cut off your seams when you are done. So here we go. I am going right along the edges. I just press. It's seamless. It's like butter. Thank you so much for the follow. It just goes through it so easy. Boom. Right exactly along the edges of where I pressed it in. It is covered. There you go, just cutting along the edges. Again, you can save these scraps for later. You can use them to make horns, to make whatever you want. Boom, it is cut. Get out of here, scraps. I should put them in a box, but I just didn't because I just advocated that. So I just threw them on the floor, which I'll have to clean up with all those little beads later. But here we go. Our piece is complete. Now there's still a little bit of bend into it right now, but not that much because it's just cooled down. So you're going to take it, because now it comes the shaping part. Look at the smoothness. Look at the no air bubbles that are in there. There is nothing, because we took the proper steps and the proper methods and everything. So you can. I have seen people, thank you, Brooks Creations. I have seen people that have done single-sided Worbla, and instead they have heated and folded the edges. The thing I personally don't like about folded edges is look at this point here. Look at the crispness of that point. I want my armor to have as many crisp points. When you fold, you're always going to have that little bit of rounding there. People have done that, though, to save money, to do just single-sided and folding it in on itself. The other thing I don't like is that the inside is just foam. What if it rips? What if something happens? You have way less durability. So you absolutely can fold the seams if you want. I just prefer it for doing crisp stuff. Aw, I'm so glad that my Sith cosplay is your background. That is amazing. I love this Sith. That's a totally different thing. Oh, I can get into that too. These streams won't be just armor making, but we want to get into how do you do, like, you know, corsets. How do you do whatever. This will all be this sort of stuff, but in a very tutorial, webinar, seminar, panel format. So, I have this. Now it's gone hard again, though. But, again, I can heat it up. Using very low heat and being careful. I'm going to start on the inside. Because what do we have to do? This is my Vaporeon bracelet. What am I going to do with it? I got to shape it. I got to shape it to my wrist. So we're going to heat it up nicely, starting on the inside. You want to try to work as fast as possible. I've been taking my time with this piece because of explaining this to you, chat. However, you do want to take as little time as possible to avoid things like air bubbles, to avoid that stuff. I will go over in the future things of how to, well, actually, maybe I'll mention that now. But I will go over that in 1 minute after I shape this of how to eliminate air bubbles. So I am just heating this, and it seems pretty good. Whoops. A little bit of runaway heat gun there. So it is pretty malleable. Now, I'm going to put it over my wrist. Here's my shaping. Just over my wrist. Ooh, a little hot. But you want your armor to fit you perfectly. That is the best part about armor making. That is the best part about using a thermoplastic, is that everything, ow, hot, is fitted to you exactly. Be careful. Stuff will be hot. But just so you know, it will be a wee bit hot and you will have to get used to the feeling, but it is all right. It cools down pretty immediately. So I am now just shaping this to myself. It almost kind of sticks to my skin, but you like to just sort of hold it there. I got it going, got my little wrist thing going right now. And then you just need to wait till it cools down. Sometimes if you're doing stuff, if it's summertime, I just, you know, go outside for a minute. There's been occasions where I really want something to cool down super fast, so I stick my arm in the freezer. That can work as well if you want to get down super fast. So, yeah, I mean, this is original Worbla. This is the stuff that most of you are probably going to find. Black is super burny. Thybras, as Kay just mentioned, is another type of thermoplastic that I have not worked with yet. I've heard some pros, I've heard some cons, I've heard some different things about Thybra. Problem with Thybra is that it is not as readily available at so many places as Worbla is. So I'm just going to sit here and hold this, and while I hold this, I'm going to go over some comments. So, let's see. Aw, you just left. XC37, yes, I will see you on the 25th. So, let's see. What? What's wrong, Solon? What's going on? Oh, hey, Stooters, hey, chat. Hey, Stoofers, sorry. I'm just, making the conversation while this is cooling, because it'll take a little while. future episodes, like I said, this is episodic. This will be a weekly thing. So if you've noticed in some of my other stuff, my nice little mirror breastplate thing, this is my Jaina one. Look at these things. Look at these lines. Look at these heavy detailing. I am going to teach you guys how to create heavy detailing. I am going to teach you guys how to create straight lines, how to create complex, swirly, curvy lines, edging, all of that stuff will be gone over, and it will be done in extreme detail so everybody can go along. And Nicole, I love you. Check out Siberia. She is one of my BFFs. She's like my best friend from high school, and she has known me for many, many, many years. So I love you. Aw, thank you, Kay, for tuning in. That was amazing. Yeah, I will totally let you know, Kay. I will definitely need some help. This is my first time doing this, so any advice you can give me in the future would be amazing. So, all right. So it's, I'm just going to pull it off right now. It is pretty, I mean, the middle is still a little bit soft, but the edges are really cooling down. The middle's still a little bit soft. So I'm just going to leave it for a second, but I got my bracelet. I got my little bracer. So I'm just going to leave that for 1 minute while it cools down. Aw, thanks, K-Bike, for the follow. Love y'all. Have a good night. And, yeah, there was so many emotes. I don't even know how to do an emote on Twitch. I told you guys I am super new at doing this stuff, and I don't even know how to do an emote. But, you know, here I am. So, all right. There we go. So I got this. We're just going to let this cool for a minute. So like I said, in future streams, because you can't cover making an entire armor in one stream. And that's the problem with tutorial videos that are out there, and the videos that you see on YouTube and stuff, is that they try to do an entire costume in one stream. I mean, this, you can't do this in just one stream, in just a 20-minute video. This is a process, and we're going to do it together. We are going to do this as a continual thing, and you will learn. If you get home and you want to make dinner and you put on a cooking show, if you want to get home and you want to make a costume, you put on a cosplay show, and that's exactly what this is. So we will be doing that. There's going to be tons of things. It's going to be everything from swords to, like, oh my god, if I can get this off the wall, I don't know. Let's see. Yes. Swords to bows. Here is my Hanzo bow that I just made. Again, we're going to be going over materials for weapons and different materials. The core of this is pink foam, like the pink insulation foam that you can just get at any hardware store. Then there's Worbla and craft foam and all of this stuff. A bow and arrow, that is a wooden dowel, and Worbla. Everything that I do is made of Worbla. So there is my Hanzo bow that I can barely stretch out. Do I see a Genji? Is this what's happening? Overwatch jokes. Yay! But anyway, yeah, so this is this stuff that I will be teaching throughout a series of these things. It will be weekly. It will be all of this stuff. So, and it'll be all just during crafting. And, yeah, absolutely. We'll do it together. We'll do it as a process. It'll be great. So, let's take a look. It has cooled down. Can you hear that? This is hard. We now have a piece of armor that, boop, snaps right on. It's like Wonder Woman bracers. It is like any sort of fighting whatever kind of thing. Corvo from Dishonor for Anime North. That's awesome. Yes, you should do it, and we can do it together. So there you go. I have just made myself a small little piece. The back is not connected, so I could just attach it on. You know how bracelets are. They're just sort of like that. Full, I will show you more when it comes to connecting and all of that stuff. Hey, Dara, hello. Oh my gosh, it is. Oh, thank you for the follow. I have not talked to you in so long. I love you. You're amazing. Alrighty. We have the same heat gun. That is awesome. Yeah, it's super cheap, super easy. But look, Look at what we did, stream. Look at what we did. Ah, thank you for the follow. Look at what we did. We made something. We made a piece of armor just like that. Sure, it's not detailed yet. Sure, there is no edging on it yet. Sure, there is no gemstone or anything like that that'll be lining it yet. But that all comes with time. This is why I said you guys need to know the first techniques, the first things to do when you are creating your armor constructions. So, to reiterate, sandwich method. Like I said, these things are going to be archived. To reiterate, sandwich method. Aw, I love you too. I just started streaming. I'm super new at this. So, we're just very first crafting stream. Very first one. Blah. So, we're just going through this. Like I said, sandwich method. You get your pattern piece wherever, I mean, it's in the thing, but just using a different one. This is something for, this is a shoe armor piece. So you get your pattern piece, like I said, going through the things. You trace out your pattern piece onto your craft foam. Then you get your pen. You can either use a pen like this, or you can use a felt pen. You trace around your edges so that you are creating your seam lines. You do your sandwich method, cut out your Worbla, do your two things together. You leave your seam lines. You use your amazing tools like your super duper cheap and rusted paint scraper. Amazing though. And your 5th grade math class protractor. That is what you are going to be using to make these costumes. And it is super easy and super awesome. Oh, I am so glad that you just found me through creative. That is amazing. Oh, okay, Brooks Creations, head out. Oh, you're back to work. That sucks. But come and join me again for another time. So, yes, I'm so glad that I was already to give you some confidence. This is amazing. Yes, go to Kelowna and get some supplies. If you have the trouble, like, that's for local people that live in the same town as me. If you ever need some specific advice, I just gave somebody advice on prints and stuff. Go to Rapid Printing. Anyway, yes, you can totally just message me and whatever and ask me for that. So, we have done our sandwich method. Now, the next thing... Aw, thank you for hosting my stream. So, the next thing... Aw, night, honey. Love you, Nicole. So, the next final thing that I'm going to show you, and this is just going to be the last little thing that we're going to talk about just for today, is like I said, there was attachment methods. So, D-rings, let's take a look at the inside. I'll show you how to do all of these things. I will go into an entire pauldron. Pauldrons. That is the wrong way. Pauldrons. I will go into, thank you so much for the follow. I will go into, I do not live in Ontario. I live in beautiful British Columbia. We got mountains, we got ocean, we got lots of stuff. So no, I do not live in Ontario, but I love Ontario. It is a beautiful place and there's lots of really cool things. My mom is from Guelph originally, so, well, no, she went to the University of Guelph. She's from Windsor, born and raised, University of Guelph, and then came out to Alberta. So there's all over the place. But I'll show you pauldrons. So D-rings and everything. Like I said, I will show this one more time because I already did it many times during the stream. But for new joiners who just came in, for next time when we start actually building creations step by step together, these are the basic materials that you are going to need. Worbla, craft foam, scissors, ruler. I mean multiple scissors because they get dull immediately. Like they get really cheap scissors. I go and I buy the like 10 packs of scissors at Home Depot and whatever and stuff because they can get really dull. Rulers, stainless steel or plastic is fine, but plastic can sometimes stick to Worbla. X-Acto knife, D-rings, EVA foam, paint scrapers, heat guns, and protractors. That and the protractor is what I showed. These are the basic materials. These are the things that I have used today to do all of this stuff, to show you the sandwich method, to make a tiny little bracer. This is what you will need, and this is what we hopefully can work together with and do this progress of these streams. So, back to this. So, like I said, those are the materials lists. I showed you them again. If this stream will be archived and it will also be uploaded to YouTube. So, there is our D-rings that are right here. Now, D-rings are what I use to attach all my armor. Look at this. Isn't it so shiny? Isn't it so nice and purple and shiny, beautiful? Bam! Look at the inside. It's ugly. It's awful, but that's cosplay. That's fine. Your inside is going to be terrible, and that's okay because It's not about that. Who looks at that in there? Do you see that? Do you see my Jana Proudmore with it under there? No way. So the inside is where all of the mechanics are. It's where all the gross, awful, hidden things that are inside are. So smooth and pretty on the outside. Boom, it is awful and ghetto and just all over the place and stuff is all inside here. It doesn't matter. It's okay. So if you can see here, these little things, these are D-rings. I will explain more when we go into the pauldron segment, when we are in the pauldron stream episode, exactly about what these placements of these D-rings mean and all of that stuff. But this is just an example of why D-rings are important. I will explain what this thing is in the inside during the pauldrons episode of the stream. I will explain exactly why you need this sort of stuff and all of that. So that's what D-rings are used for. I will give a little example of a D-ring. Now, we just made this bracelet, correct? Yes, we did. We just made the bracelet. So there you go. So if you were to want to, say, attach it with a different method than just putting it around yourself, you would then use a D-ring. You would take, I've got smaller D-rings that I just can't find right at the moment, but I've got little baby D-rings. But you would do it, you would use a piece of Worbla and you would attach it on there so that you can lace it up. It looks almost like corsetry things. Let's get a breastplate. Here is an example. Look at the D-rings that are laced up on the back. That is how you are going to lace up your costumes. Look at the D-rings. Like I said, ooh, isn't it shiny and beautiful and mirror-like finish? Boom, inside, disgusting. Look at all the different pieces of Worbla, the different stuff, the gesso, the spray paint, all of the stuff that is all over it. That's okay. So this is where all of your hardware, your manufacturing, everything is going to go inside. That's why D-rings are important. That's why it's included on the material list. So that is the basics of just an intro to thermoplastics, to Worbla, to all of that stuff. Just my intro basics. This is going to be a progressive thing, like I said. Hello. So I'm going to, before I end up signing off for the night, because I think this has been couple hours going on, which is great because it's like it gives you tutorials and panels and examples and all of that stuff for a long period of time. When you have to do a panel, when you have to do a Worbla or a thermoplastic panel or anything like that, it takes literally 45 minutes and you don't get any information. You can't get any questions answered and it sucks, right? So that's what this is. So like I said, oh, thank you so much for the following. This is just an intro. This is an intro panel, webinar, seminar, show that I am doing just to give you I almost said just to give you the 411, but I don't think anybody has said that since Clueless. So I'm not very trendy. I hang out with 5-year-olds all day because I teach them stuff and that's literally it. So I don't really know any of the slang or anything. But yes, so this is just the intro. This is just the intro panel. This is just this sort of stuff. This is just to tell you the stuff. And this will be a continual thing. We will go through all of the techniques, all of the stuff together, and we will do it as a team. So I will be posting a way more regular schedule and a way more regular, you know, when this will be, what will be the specific nature of these episodes, all of that kind of stuff is going to be far, far more regularly. Yes, I am an elementary school teacher. I teach little children. Tomorrow I am doing an afternoon and I am teaching grade 4-5. So yay, they're a little older and then they get a little ruder, but that's okay. So yes, I'm a substitute teacher. That is what I went to university for. So final, just before I end up signing off, any final questions? I would love to answer any final questions. Oh, and like I said before, right, other side, up there, in there, are my Instagram and my Facebook links. I am going to devote time at the beginning of every episode, and if there is a lot, I will then create an own separate episode for your guys' questions. You just made a sword yesterday and it's entirely falling apart. You can't understand how to get, you know, the bubbles out of your Worbla. Oh, by the way, dress pins. Just poke it with a pin. It's really, really easy. But you can't get the bubbles out of your Worbla. You don't understand how to, you know, you just tried to attach something, it keeps falling off. Just send me photos and send me your questions in the beginning of every episode. Thank you so much for the follow. I will be taking your questions and your comments and be going through them. You want to send me pictures and stuff? That's perfect. I can post your picture up on my stream and say, hey, this is, you know, this is the question that I have on here, and point to all like the little parts and say maybe this should be used or this should be used or whatever, and try to give as much advice as I will be. Yes, I will be doing an LED gem tutorial. I will be doing resin casting gems and how to do that. That'll be a whole other stream. I'll show you how to solder. I'm actually gonna have to solder in here. That one I'll have to have a bit of a mask for, so hopefully sound won't be too bad. But I'll show you how to solder. I'll show you LED, resin gems, how to do circuitry, all of that stuff. That will be in the kit of these progressive shows. So if you have questions or comment for next show, send me them at either of these two, and I will try to create a more advanced stream schedule of when this is going to be on. So, yes, you should be building this armor. It will be amazing. So, I am still streaming now. Yeah, I did. So yes, any final thoughts, questions, parting stuff, any burning questions is what we say in the classroom that you need answered or cannot wait until next time. So anything at all, send it right now. Awesome. I am glad that I was able to help. I really hope you guys tune in again. It's going to be super fun. We're going to do a really great job. So let's see, just giving it one more minute if there's any other questions or anything. While I wait, just to see. I think this helmet's going to go on one more time. Ugh. Yes. All right. Yes, get a list of questions. Did I open the gift you sent me? No, I've been streaming. I'm sorry. I will, though. I promise. I really, really will. No, I did not. I promise. Where did you send it to? I'm so curious. Anyway, yes, so thank you guys. You have been a Snipe Victorian helmet. Will I teach leather? I will teach you how I do all of my leather strapping and everything, except I don't use real leather. It's not that I'm sitting here going like, you know, fur is murder, avocation gets that stuff. I don't. Real leather is really expensive, and I go to cosplay store or to fabric stores and stuff, and I can get faux like PU leather, just polyurethane leather, just for super cheap. And so that's why. No, I did not see it, Namia. I did not see it through Twitch. So yes, I will, I can work with fake leather, but I won't be working with real leather. So that's just, I don't have the proficiency with it, and leather's really expensive. So sorry about that, but I can show you faux leather. How do you mold helmets to fit your head? That is in a future broadcast. I will show you everything about making helmets. Pattern drafting will be my next stream. That is how I will be showing you how to make breastplate patterns. I will be showing you how to make helmet patterns. I will be showing you all of that stuff. Pattern drafting is the second really key thing beyond doing the sandwich method and understanding what your materials are going to do when you work with them. Pattern drafting is the next biggest thing. So that is going to be the next episode. And so tune in for that. It will totally be able to go into explanation, and helmets will be and masks will be a totally separate one. So yeah, leather-like effects, I can totally do that. I do a lot of leather strapping in my costumes, just fake ones. Crypto guys, please respond to what? Did I miss your question? I'm so sorry. Let me go see. Yes, I am a teacher. And I love your little emotes. Those are awesome. So, yes, patterning can take really long, but it is so important, which is why we are doing a full episode on pattern drafting. And you're going to see me get a little crazy. I'm going to be wrapping my bathing suit body up in a lot of things. So it's going to be more of a risque stream, but it's actually not. Because that's what you have to do for cosplay. So come and join that and all that. No, I don't know. Oh, you sent me the donation earlier. I think that I mentioned it or whatever, Crypto Guys. I did see that. So I think that was you. So yay, that was so awesome. And yes, so on Twitter, I will post, let's see, I still don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I still don't exactly know, how this stuff works. So I'm going to my Streamlabs right now. I really don't know exactly how this works. I'm going to my Streamlabs. Oh no, where's my stuff? These are my widgets. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see. No, I didn't see. I didn't see what you were. Let's see. I am not. Crypto Guys. I didn't quite exactly see what you guys had done. I'm still going to figure out all of the exact mechanics of Twitch and everything, so sorry about that. I know, everybody's saying they sent me things, and I'm like, ah. And you're like, it's right under yours. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Right under your where? So I'm still learning the basics of the streaming and all of that stuff. So I will only have a Twitter. I don't understand Twitter. I've never really used Twitter, so my bad on the Twitter front, but I will make sure to post on Twitter when I go live. You can link to my Twitter in my bio right there, even though I don't even have any followers on Twitter. I just have never used it. If you go look at my Twitter, it's like, you made 20 tweets in the entirety of having Twitter. So sorry, but I will. Promise I'll post in there when I go live, and then I will post on all of my social media when I get a specific schedule down, so when you can catch these things. So like I said before, come up with your comments, come up with your questions, all of that. So I will be addressing them. If you need to send them, you can send them there. On both of those links, there is my email address that you can email me. Say you've got insanely big files or something or whatever. Absolutely, just email that to me on there. My Twitter should be down on... Nope, my Twitter is not on my thing. Boo! My Twitter is AndyRay1. That is it. ANDYRAE1. AndyRay1. That is what it is. So, it'll be on my stopped stream, whatever thing. So, thank you, Crypto Guys. Good night. Oh, you want to make it to Anime North 2017? I know, right? You gotta go do it. It is amazing. So, I will post some comments about when I'm going live and all of that stuff. So thank you guys for joining. I hope my first stream was all right and you guys kind of enjoyed it and stuff. There will be many more to come, and this is something that I really hope we're going to grow and do together. Oh, there was one question that I just missed back there that I just saw that I did want to answer. It said something about... Oh, do I ever do... That was you, Crypto Guy. Do I ever do personal requests? I have. You PM me with that. Perfect. I will go look at it. I don't usually do personal requests with stuff, but I will if I do start up a Patreon, which I thought maybe recently. I don't know. I'll do things like polls and whatever on it and stuff. Things that you can vote. I haven't done totally personal request things, but I mean, that'll be, I'll figure that stuff out sort of later. So, in a little bit. So, yeah. Aww. Thank you, Aura. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Aura XV for the donation. That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. That just goes to getting more of this stuff, more of the Worbla, to make more of the helmets, to make more of the stuff for you guys. So I appreciate that. I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed the stream. Please join me again next time. I will be advertising. Next time is pattern drafting. Hi, Jester. I'm doing good, but I'm just ending my stream right now. But hello, thank you for joining. So yes, pattern drafting. Look for it. It'll be less than a week. I am going to be doing it less than a week. This was, I will be doing them as a weekly thing, but this will be less than a week. So look for it within the next 4 or 5 days or so, and we will get super into it, and it'll be super fun. So thank you guys for joining. Check out all of my stuff. Email me your questions, message me your questions, comments, anything about crafting or whatever, and I'll try to address them at the beginning of next one. So yeah, okay, thank you guys. Mwah. Love you all. I'm so glad. Don't be intimidated by any stuff. If I can do it, you guys can do it too. So join me next time, and thanks. Bye.